Okay, so I will use these 10 minutes to give you a little bit of hints on the objectives and the motivation for the Digiprime project. My name is Marcello Coledani. I work at Politecnico di Milano, the mechanical engineering department, and I'm coordinating this project. So basically, Digiprime was born with the objective to unlock circular value chains and trying to overcome the main limitations in this task. What are the main limitations? Mainly, we identified the lack of exchange of information between manufacturers and delivery manufacturers while closing the loop in specific high-value value chains, as well as the lack of information exchange between different sectors. And as we know, the most interesting opportunities in circular value chains come actually from cross-sectoral use of products, components, and materials. So this unlocking these opportunities seems to be a very high value approach towards circular economy. Of course, other limitations are lack of certification protocols for secure reuse of material and components among sectors, as well as the poor acceptability of products embedding recycled materials by end customers. So to try to unlock and to solve, to approach these limitations, we follow this cross-sectoral approach. Just one example on why we think this is the key for achieving high-value circular value chains in Europe. This example is also one of the pilots of Digiprime. It comes from the fiber use project that was a large-scale project that will be finishing next year. I'm coordinating this project as well, where we're trying to close the loop with the cross-sectoral approach for composites. And the main goal here is to make use of the properties of the material and the fact that different sectors actually require input materials with different specifications in order to find more use cycles for specific carbon fibers and glass fiber reinforced polymers. So this is just an example, but it motivates the overall approach. So the idea of making the link between sectors in order to make use of the residual properties of components and materials. What is Digiprime? It's, well, one of the projects was funded last year, and we have 36 partners from 11 member states, 6 manufacturing sectors, just to stress this cross-sectorial approach. And the overall funding is similar to the other projects that we have seen so far. The project started in January 2020, so a few months ago, and will last 4 years. The main mission is to develop a platform to enable to solve the currently existing asymmetry between value chain stakeholders and unlock new circular business models, clearly added value circular business models, which are not only focused on recycling, but are also, and most interesting for the business perspective, focus on the reuse of functions and materials. So also products and components that can be reused between sectors. The only technical slide I have is this one, where I would like to show a little bit of concepts of the architecture. We are following the concept of federation because we think that this cross-sectorial nature of the project itself actually embeds the concept of federation. So we are developing an archetype of platform in specific, focusing on specific sectors. And then there will be horizontal services connecting these archetypes of vertical platforms and enabling the controlled exchange of information and servicing between the different nodes. So we think that this kind of a distributed architecture of the platform could also be extended in the future to approach and tackle new opportunities coming from connecting different sectors that are not currently in the target of the Digiprime project. Of course, without going into the details of the technicalities, we have quite a lot of services to develop. They are both horizontal services connecting the different nodes of the architecture, but also vertical services that are used by the companies internally in order to make more conscious decision making and more profitable circular business processes. So these vertical and horizontal services are those that will be mainly tested within the pilots of the project in order to appreciate and to evaluate the target KPIs are met within the project and through the open calls. What are the pilots? We have 6 pilots in total. 4 of them are technical pilots, where each pilot is cross-sectorial. And as you see, they are focused on products, components, or materials. And the 4 pilots are focused respectively on batteries, mechatronics and electronics, composites and technopolymers, and textile. And in each of these pilots, we have specific use cases. In total, we have more than 20 use cases where we test the recovery of functional materials between sectors. So all these pilots are actually cross-sectorials. You see some of the sectors that we are tackling: automotive, textile, design, renewable energy, construction, and machinery. Just to make an example, I'm just stressing with one slide the battery pilot. So here the goal would be to enable the profitable implementation of an innovative circular process chain, value chain, focus on the reuse of lithium-ion batteries from the automotive sector into new application for energy in the stationary domain, so second life application, renewable energy, home and office applications. So as you see, this is cross-sectorial because one product that doesn't present residual properties that enable the reuse in a closed loop environment, so back in the automotive, will be reusable in other sectors, such as renewable energy, if provided that some information about the residual properties and about the specific conditions of the components, the cells, could be transferred between one sector and the other. We have other 2 pilots, which we call non-technical pilots. And these pilots are there also to create an ecosystem around the platform. So they come from other activities that the partners of the project are involved in. For example, Pilot 5 is coming from the Screen Horizon 2020 project that was funded in the circular economy calls in the past, where we were involved together with the Lombardy region. And there, the goal was to systematize a methodology to enable the creation and identification and the creation of cross-regional value chains in the circular economy domain. So here, the methodology will be imported in the platform of the Digiprime project, and we will enable to diffuse and extend the footprint of this approach to several regions in Europe. The pilot number 6 is instead related to the DN remanufacturing for circular economy demo case and pilot case that was originally born in Vanguard and then became a DigiRegio pilot action. So here the main goal is to establish this network of circular innovation hubs that are ready to deliver services, technical services to companies, and at very high TRL level. And of course, the Digiprime capabilities would be useful for these networks of infrastructures to get into operational level. And that's the main goal of this pilot. So I hope you got a little bit of flavor of what is the Digiprime project about. I finished my 10 minutes. So there will be open calls. They will be launched in April and December. One open call will be dedicated to further service developers. And one open call will be dedicated to new cross-sectorial business opportunities, so new user of the platform capabilities. So stay tuned for knowing more about the next calls, open calls that will be launched in Digiprime. And of course, please refer to me if you need more information about the project.